don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. Shoot the shot. I'm coming in hot. Yeah, coming in hot.
What's happening, everybody? It's Tuesday, and we're getting hot. It was quite the weekend. It's quite the week coming up. It's your boy Marco. We're joined by Brad. TJ is out tonight, but have no fear, Brad is here. And Brad, I got a feeling you're coming in hot.
Oh, dude, I'm in Fuego. I'm in El Diablo. I've been waiting since Sunday, ever since hearing that nonsense about the college football playoff selection. I mean, that's easily at the top of the list about how jobbed, screwed, bamboozled, taken. Oh my! How can you get? What else can you use to describe how Florida State got the shaft? They did every single criteria necessary in order to make a playoff set for the past 25 years in either a BCS or a college football playoff situation, and they were hosed. Plain and simple. I'm if we need more examples, that there's no denying it. I don't care if you're on your eighth string quarterback. I don't care if the kicker is at quarterback. Does not matter. They fit the criteria. Give them the spot.
Yeah, and it was a huge topic for everybody. All eyes were on the college football because they knew it was going to be some controversy, but I don't think they expected it to go that way. I think that was probably the last idea of what chaos was about to ensue. Was on people's minds was that Florida State was out. So yeah. Let me tell you, and I'll second that with a particular hot take on the arguments that have transpired over the weekend and then yesterday when the talking heads come up. But everybody's, it's not everybody, but some people are bringing up the 1993 championship game where Florida State got in with one loss, and I believe it was West Virginia was undefeated and they were out. But here's my thing. Shut up about 1993. That was 30 years ago. It was, you know what I mean? Like, it was a completely different animal. It was based off of votes and where they really did. The actual criteria was, strength of schedule. And did they get screwed because they were undefeated? Yeah. But again, that's a different time. That's the one 30 years ago. So the kids and people talking about college football now weren't even alive. Also, you have, co-championships and co-number ones. And, it was a different time. So it's an irrelevant argument to be made.
At one point in my high school coaching career for our bowling team, we were co-champions twice. I got to admit it.
Well, okay, yeah, and if that's the system, then it works. Then,
that's
but that's not the system we have now.
Speaking of system, let's talk quickly about the Chicago Bears and their system. I mean, everybody and their mom saying got to move off Eberflus and the staff. Everybody and their mom and dad saying we got to move off of Justin Fields. I say not so fast. If you look over the past 8 games this season, that Bears are 4-4. They started on the season off horribly, but the thing is that people don't know. I actually went back and did some research at the end of training camp. 16 players on the injured list from their starting lineup. They weren't even healthy. They weren't even ready to start the season. Starting a bunch of rookies. No wonder they're getting trounced. I think Eberflus is doing a better job. Again, call me an optimist, but I think he's doing a much better job after the Sweat acquisition. They're playing a little bit hard-nosed defense against some decent offenses. So back off, give them the rest of the season, and let them see how they finish. I think the Bears win at least 2, maybe even 3 more games.
All right. In the comment section, and pardon our inability to see who says this, but we got a hot take saying that the ACC hasn't been on the Big Ten or SEC level in a very long time.
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
really?
What about
Really?
who says
Clemson? Says
Clemson? What?
Yeah, right. Get out of here.
Who's Clemson?
Terrible hot take.
Ah,
Terrible hot take.
what?
All right.
Something stinks.
All right, I got a hot take here. As some of you know, I did my maiden voyage to Lambeau Field, Titletown as they call it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
the big time.
as a representative of Chiefs Kingdom, to see how far our kingdom stretches to the North Pole, it does, and we were in many numbers. The Chiefs people were. It was a very holiday-esque scene of green and red throughout the stands. Green Bay, very, very friendly and hospitable. Maybe not so much if it were to be a Viking Packer game or Bears Packers, Lions Packers, Patriots Packers, those types of games. I believe would probably be more hostility. There was no hostility whatsoever. There was no hostility during the game when scores were going back and forth after the half when the Chiefs come marching down the field and it's a close game. No problems whatsoever. Here's my hot take. So hospitable that the guy next to me was telling me about his brother-in-law from Kansas City, and he's a big Kansas City fan, blah, blah, blah. The game goes on, and then he shows me his phone and says, look, my brother-in-law even sent me $30 for 2 beers. Hey, don't do that, jerk, if you're not going to go get the beers. He just mooched $30 off of his brother-in-law. I didn't get a beer. He didn't go get a beer for him and his brother. There's no beers. That guy just scammed his brother-in-law
for $30,
which was deliberate.
Oh no!
You know what that $30 was for. You know what that $30 was for. And
alcohol.
Boo that guy.
My, boo.
Boo that guy.
Boo. Where's the soundboard? Boo. Do we got where's the boo?
All right. What else you got?
Okay. Being in living in Indianapolis, the talk of the league right now is Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers have been their young team. He's clearly an elite point guard, easily top 3 point guard in the league. I'd argue say the best point guard currently playing in the league the way he's playing right now. My hot take is that he would have my MVP vote right now. He's averaging 27, 12, 4 a game with a 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. I mean, that is an elite balling point guard. I mean, average is 27 points a game. That means he's had like 30, 40 point games. So, I mean, what he's doing out there is criminal. He's breaking a lot of ankles. He's making a lot of other players look good. I am so glad that, again, I'll say this. Sabonis was a good player, but Halliburton is him. And it's nice to see that. I think we easily won that trade with getting rid of Sabonis for Halliburton.
Good for you. Good for the Pacers. Yeah. All right. Staying in the NBA, I got a hot take for you. LeBron's a bitch. LeBron acts like a bitch. He's just a little bitch. Yeah.
Take that.
And and I know we're going to touch on that on Thursday. I know I'm going to bring it up. It's hot take.
So
maybe not so hot in certain circles, but yeah, hot take.
Maybe not so hot after after the coach exactly I was calling LeBron during the game the other night.
Yeah.
It was actually it was actually quite funny. I mean, like, to think that, LeBron, not only he got a tee, and then Udome got ejected.
Yeah, that's great. All right, I got another hot take for the NCAA. This one is a bit of a slow burn, but the NCAA is ruining the NCAA. This is now I know a little bit ago I was complaining about don't talk about 30 years ago, but they're going to ruin what we've grown to know and love. The traditions of college football, the traditions of the bowl games are already obsolete. Nobody cares. They're not playing in the games. The stars aren't playing, right? We saw Caleb Williams not going to play in a bowl game. Most of Georgia not going to play in their bowl game because they're getting ready for the draft. When you dilute it down and they're going to change it to next year, we'll get more playoff teams, what we want, but it's going to take away from the bowl games. they don't hold as much entertainment value. Schools will still get their money, players will still get their showcase. And then when we grow and they're going to have 2 or 3 mega conferences, right? The Power 5 are going to be consumed to the Big Ten and the SEC, and it's going to be 2 conferences. And then it's just going to be what we're going to have to explain relegation to teams to go down to. What are we going to? We're going to have a tiered system of 40 teams in the in the college conference. I don't think the NCAA has a good answer for what they're going to do in the future, and we might like it coming up when they expand to 8 teams and it gets played out on the field. But bring back the BCS. Hot take.
Ooh, bring back the BCS, man. Those are 3 letters a lot of people want that we're anxious to see go away. But now that we got these fogies and freaking armchairs, taking a look at some clips, thinking that they know things about football. I mean, yeah. Secretaries of State football. Come on, let's go. All right, I think okay. So this is just me taking a just out of the blue hot take on the Ohtani signings.
Ohtani watch.
I know Ohtani watch, dude. I'm enthralled by it. Like I check Twitter every day. I'm like reading stuff because again, the Cubs are in the conversation of being able to sign Ohtani, and if the Cubs can sign Ohtani, I think again, I think that's even though what if with whatever the price tag or the cost is, that I think that is definitely it's a game changer move. It shows that they're willing and ready to do what it takes, and that's to bring people to Chicago and freaking get them another title.
Lukewarm hot take, my guy. We're the Cubs are number one. We're number one now today. As I check every 30 minutes to see what's going on there, some other teams in the mix. Canada, the Blue Jays. Did you see that they're in the mix?
So to add on to my hot take, I don't think eventually Ohtani makes his way to Chicago. I just got a gut feeling. I think he's going to stay in Cali. I'm not sure exactly with what team, whether it be the Giants, the Dodgers, and some rumblings lately have even said the Angels are still in it. So I think he's going to stay in Cali. I think he's going to stay out west because I think his influence out west, he's able to hit both not only the United States but also Japan and in China as well. You're closer to both.
Ben doesn't like Chicago at all and says that nobody wants to come to Chicago, be in or think about Chicago. But that's a hot take. Actually, I hate Chicago. You know what I hate about Chicago? Let me tell you what I hate about Chicago. I hate Chicago transit system and public transportation in Chicago has become a cesspool of ridiculousness, which it's been for years, maybe even decades. Riding home last week, some guy starts shooting up in his leg. I talked about it on Thursday's show. And then today, I plan my schedule around the live updated Pace Bus schedule. We're all at the station. There goes the 322 bus and this doofus and his grin, and he just drives on and he doesn't stop at the beginning of the line. Like it starts at 54th and Cermak. That's where he didn't stop. He just blew right by us. So then we have to wait like another 10 minutes for a bus. That bus doesn't show up. Then the bus 10 minutes after that showed up quite early, but instead of trying to pick people up and get on time, he's got to wait for his schedule. The city's falling apart, man. We need Batman to fix the transit system. His dad had a great idea. Thomas Wayne, may you rest in peace. All right, what else we got?
Oh, boy. Well, shoot, with a lot of talk about we only got 5 weeks left in the regular season, which means that regular season awards are going to start to come out, and a lot of MVP talks, chatters been coming around about people like maybe Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, maybe even kind of skirt towards a running back with the season McCaffrey's having. A lot of people, even the past month, have even murmured names of Brock Purdy as the MVP, and I think none of those are the MVP. I say Dak freaking Prescott. I think Prescott is carrying the Dallas offense on his back. They have no running game. Tony Pollard has been like average, literally average this entire season after signing a big contract, getting rid of Zeke. It's really their rushing attack has gotten worse. So Dak has to literally make every decision and every throw in that offense in order to make them well. And you can't deny when your offense is clicking on all cylinders. In the past 6 weeks, you've been averaging nearly 40 points a game. I'm sorry, right now Dak is my MVP.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. Man. So we had the Twitter for to get on the show. Use the hashtag HTT. Tony Loberger. He says that Jordan Love and the Packers will win more Super Bowls than Rodgers did and Brett Favre. So I don't know if you're saying them combined, which means 2, or if he just wins 2, which would be more. But we got a hot take to Packer fans that say Jordan Love's going to lead them to the promised land at least twice. So
That's a fiery take.
There's a homer take. There's a homer take, as Ben likes to say. We got another one. We got let's see. We got.
I got another one for regarding the NFL. That
What do you got?
Being here in Indianapolis, the Colts are in the AFC South. So when they're not playing the Bears, I root for the Colts, and so we follow them here pretty closely. And I'll tell you what, the Jaguars are in real trouble of missing the freaking playoffs. They are in some real trouble. Now, I look at their schedule the next 5 games. They're on the road at Cleveland this week, and then they're at home against Baltimore, which is still an unfavorable matchup. On the road at Tampa, which I think that's a coin flip game. And at this point, as long as Lawrence is going to be out, I think that makes them a very mediocre team. You have to lean so heavily on ETN that I don't think their offense is going to be as explosive. So I think the Colts and Texans are they're primed and ready in order to take this division from Jacksonville.
All right, I like it. I like the way the divisions are heating up too. Even the West, it was getting mundane just cruising into the postseason. So a little
I
look at
Houston's schedules at the Jets, at the Titans. Neither one of those teams scare me. Then they're at home against Cleveland. I think that's a big test. At home against Tennessee again, and then on the road at Indy.
So the division's at hand. They're in the
division is literally at hand.
Yeah, good, cool. Well, good for you guys. How's the in season tourney going for? I know TJ's usually our NBA insider, but how's it looking for your Pacers?
Pacers played and beat the Celtics last night. It was a great game, man. It was just really an offensive showcase of pretty much all the superstars. Your Jason Tatums and Jaylen Browns and Halliburtons. Pacers down the line, they made a few defensive stops, and that's what you need against a team like Boston. Is that they're a really good team. They're the best record in the league for a reason. So they won last night, and they are in the Final Four. They got to play the winner of, I think it's like Milwaukee. Let me see here. It's Milwaukee, New York, and they're at halftime. Milwaukee up by 3. So they'll play that winner out in Vegas, and then the winner of that game will play in that in-season tournament finals, and each player from the winning tournament team are going to get a $500,000, $500,000 check. So don't tell me those cats ain't out there going to be bumping and playing like a playoff game. I mean, when a $500,000 on the line, let's go stack them up.
They probably gambled amongst themselves on letting it ride, winner take all type stuff too. Would an in-season tournament work for the MLB? Hot take, yes. My hot take, I think the MLB season's way too long, and we can probably split it up into 2 seasons and have 2 championships within that. We can definitely mold that into the MLB.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if the MLB season is going to continue to stay that long, you can easily hold an in-season tournament. I think honestly MLB may be one of the easiest ones to do, because let's say like for every series in the first couple of months, that first game you play with them counts toward the in-season tournament game.
Yep.
You know, I mean, easy.
Yeah.
That's dude. That's a layup.
It's a game based on statistics, and you just take those games, and put it into a different statistical equation and
Or
create.
you know what you could even do is leading up into the All-Star break, having that the finale of that in-season tournament end right about, like, let's say the championship game is the day before the All-Star game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. I like it.
I'd watch that.
Great hot take. I'd watch that. For sure. All right, bud. What else you got?
Well, I had one more bonus take in here, not sports related at all. Is about the recent GTA 6 trailer that was released. Came out yesterday, and I mean, it looks great. They on the trailer they're rocking Tom Petty. I'm all about that. Um, and it says coming 2025. I like really like you're releasing a trailer like 18 months before something's gonna. I'm sorry, man. We may see the PS6 before we see GTA 6.
And I had somebody text me from a number that I didn't have saved in my phone at 4:30 in the morning, sending me the YouTube clip of that trailer. That's how excited that person was, that they felt I needed to know that at 4:30 in the morning. I don't need to know about that at 4:30. I don't need to know about. We've been talking and wanting 6 since for the last 5-6 years. So like, no, I'm not excited about it. There's going to be delays. Yeah. I'll play it on my PS6. You're right. There'll be a 6 bundle, PS6 and GTA 6 in the bundle in 26.
I'll tell you what, though, man, that trailer was pretty dang good. I really enjoyed like just the environmental clips and the detail that you could just see, and just even some of those small fractions of time, and you're like, dang, I mean, so many more people, and just
I hope the online play lets us create our own gangs, and we can have a Dads with Bacon PS6 clan.
dude.
That'd be awesome. All right, bud. That's all I got for today. I'm excited for Thursday. And I guess I'll because the Bulls are not in the in-season tourney. There's only a couple teams left. The Bulls are a hot. The Bulls, on top of the Bulls needing to sell, hot take time. The Bulls need to sell, but they need to clean house again. It's getting bad. This Zach LaVine situation is terrible, and the Bulls just need to get out from under that contract and start all over again. I hate living in Chicago and being forced to cheer for teams just because of where you reside.
Bear
I'm
down,
against that.
Chicago Bears.
Ryan Poles, we're gonna own the North. He goes like,
give him some time. Give the man
time. How much time you want?
No,
how much time you want?
He's been there a year and a half, bro.
How much time
a
you
year
want?
and a half. Give him a few. That's it. When you clean house, you gotta give him time. Nobody ever wants to give anybody time.
No.
Give him some time.
3 years. You get 3 years.
No, dude. No, think about lately over what great players have immediately ascended as, whether it be a quarterback or even a coach, to be like the elitist of the elite right away.
Do you know who you're talking to? Patrick Mahomes.
No, but yeah, he was not thrown in right away. He sat a year.
One whole year. You can't even see my Patrick Mahomes.
I can't.
Pops.
But
okay, he sat a year, but he didn't. But I mean, okay. So then it was year 2. So I mean, that was almost immediately, and he could have. Some people said he should have started, and they could have got rid of Alex Smith sooner. What about C.J. Stroud?
Okay, but C.J. Stroud's an anomaly, though. Really, if you look at the grand total, like in the grand scheme, yes, C.J. Stroud is doing what he is doing this year.
Not according to what the heck is the owner of the Carolina Panthers, who wanted to draft him, but everybody else voted against them.
Yeah, their owner said, "No, you're getting him."
What about Connor Bedard? We're Connor Bedard for the Blackhawks. We have the Gretzky stats and the Connor Bedard stats. And we just want to keep every time he scores a goal, we check it off. He's a little bit closer. He's a little bit closer. He's a little bit closer. And
That's not a bad thing for your Blackhawks, though.
Not my Blackhawks, my Kraken. The Blackhawks of Chicago, my Kraken. And on top of the recent scandal, the MILF scandal, and the way they handled that, I'm anti. The Blackhawks are that madhouse on Madison is a nasty, nasty, nasty place. All right, Brad.
Till next week. Till next week.
You in on Thursday? Do I get to see your face on Thursday?
I might. Yeah, I think I might just be on Thursday. It's It's I got a school game night with the kids at their school from like 5 to 7. So.
Cool.
We'll be there for a few hours, but we'll definitely make it in time for the sports show.
All right. I appreciate you making the time tonight. Everybody else, tune in on Thursdays for Dads with Bacon Talking Sports, and we will talk to you later.
Just like the demeanor, I'm feeding my fam. I'm feeding the meter. They got the iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul, better go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect them. I made the call up, but just like I'm repping. I know we left you, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. Haters and never like, what's happening? I'ma need y'all quit asking when. Me and my wife